Hey everyone, Tech OG here, representing those who are 40 and up who love their tech, and just want to let everybody know that I am alive and well. I haven't put out a video in a minute. That's because I'm enjoying my summer break. I'm enjoying sitting around the house, doing absolutely nothing, or playing my games, doing some yard work, some housework, things like that. Just enjoying my time doing what I do. So, just want to make this video and introduce this video here for the summer months to talk about handheld PCs in general. Now, I did say in general, but I do want to talk about one that is in everyone's mouth right now. The name of this in everyone's mouth, the Steam Deck. Just want to talk about that compared to other handheld PCs and give you my take on the Steam Deck and the other handheld PCs that are out in the market today. What I really need to figure out is what's all the hype about the Steam Deck. Now, from my knowledge and everything, portable PC gaming is getting popular. And it's not because of the Nintendo Switch. It's thanks to Chinese companies such as GPD. And you got to give credit where credit is due, because in my opinion, GPD started all of this. So GPD, Aya with the Aya Neo, and One Netbook with their array of mini PCs, such as the one you see right here, the One Mix 4. And another one that I have that was made by One Netbook. This one is a One GX1. This is a 7-inch mini PC. And it's pretty stellar. I really like this, especially the keyboard. But like I said, thanks to these Chinese companies that have made these mini PCs, the handheld PC market is growing and is catching a lot of people's attention. And one of the best things about having a mini PC is that it runs Windows, and it allows for you to, of course, run Windows applications and PC games, and it allows you for expandable storage via SSD or micro SD cards. With the addition of USB ports, whether they're USB-C or USB-A, you can expand the storage very high, as I will show you on my Mix 4 in a future video. Although the market for these systems aren't vast, not very big, there's a decent sized fan base, and you can find out a lot more about these niche devices on Discords, Telegrams, and forums on the net. The success of GPD's crowdfunding on Indiegogo has sparked the interest in what are now called handheld PCs, and have gotten the attention of big-time PC makers such as Dell, which has shown a prototype of a portable Alienware handheld PC that really haven't gotten off the ground. But like I said, a lot of these big-time PC makers are starting to see the success of GPD and One Netbook and even Aya from the crowdfunding on Indiegogo. Here you see the GPD Win 3, their crowdfunding here raised $4 million for that device. With the GPD Win 2, 2.8 million, which is outstanding. And the GPD Win Max, if you know about that one, this one is a slightly bigger PC. I think it's an 8-inch screen that raised 2.9 mil. And the One X Player, this one's made by One Netbook. This one looks reminiscent to a Nintendo Switch, and this raised $2 million, which was pretty good because One Netbook usually doesn't crowdfund on Indiegogo. So this was pretty impressive for their first time. The Aya Neo. Now this is really impressive because this is the first handheld PC that runs on an AMD chipset, and this raised 2.3 mil, which is great. And if you're interested, because like I said, this appeals to a certain niche of people. If you're interested, this campaign has just released today. This is the WinMax 2021 version, and this, I will say, yeah, the prices at first, when they first introduced this or talked about this, the prices were higher. But when Steam came out with their Steam Deck and their pre-orders, it kind of forced GPD to lower the price of their devices. So I can't wait to see future devices and the prices for those. Now with the WinMax 2021 version, because another one like I already showed you came out before, this one was crowdfunded in 2020. So with the one in 2021, you can either choose the Intel Core i7 1195G7, that is high, or you can get the AMD chipset. And right now it's at 305. Actually, let me refresh this and see if it increased. Nope, still at 305. You can get the 1195G7 for $998. Now, of course, this is the crowdfunding price. Retail price is going to be a little bit higher. And if you already have the GPD Win Max, and you are familiar with swapping out motherboards, they're actually selling the motherboard so that you don't have to buy the brand new system. You can just use the casing you have for the Win Max that you already own, swap out the motherboard for $669, and you can have the 1195 G7 right there for a little bit cheaper. So only 51 people who are familiar with swapping out motherboards have opted for that. And 239 people said, hey, give me that 1195. That's not a bad price for a full-fledged mini PC with a full keyboard and controls right on the PC itself, and a trackpad, which is outstanding. You can also choose if you want the AMD chipset, same price, and the chipset is the 4800U and 16 gigabytes of RAM, LPDDR4X RAM, same as the Intel version, for the same price. So it's your choice on which one you want. And now, here comes Steam. Well known for its platform on Windows PCs, desktop or laptop, they decided to drop their hat in the ring with their handheld PC, the Steam Deck. And I can't lie, it looks pretty impressive, especially with, as soon as they show the front again, oh, those are customizable buttons in the back. That's pretty cool. The mouse trackpads, those are impressive. Can't lie about that. The specs on the deck are pretty decent to run PC games, but the price point makes it extremely attractive, as you can see here. Steam developers say that it's basically a handheld PC, so if you're familiar with Linux, you can install Linux-based apps on it. It will have its own Steam OS or operating system installed for a seamless PC gaming experience. You also have the option of deleting the Steam OS and Linux on there and install a fresh copy of Windows on it. Now, Steam, the developers of the deck, has said that you can install a fresh copy of Windows, but I don't think you get the same experience as Steam OS and Linux. Also, no one has any idea how long the battery will last installing Windows, as the battery life for it now, 6 to 8 hours, or it depends on the game that you play, how graphically intense the games are. It's based on the OS system installed on it now, which is Linux and Steam OS. In my personal opinion, Windows should have been installed on the Steam Deck from the jump, but I'm sure the developers have their reasons why they chose Linux. Now, what irks me is how many people are comparing this to the Nintendo Switch. Now, yes, the Nintendo Switch is a portable game system. This is a portable game system, just like the PS Vita. So technically, you can compare the Steam Deck to this right here. The PS Vita, in my opinion, is still one of the best handheld gaming systems ever created. And this was made by Sony, known for PlayStation. Now, while the Steam Deck is a portable game system, it's basically in a different category. It runs the Switch and the Steam Deck will basically run different platform games. And what I mean by that, for the medium part, and what I mean by that is the Nintendo Switch, for example, has its own array of games made by the company or licensed by the company. And yes, there are PC ports of games for the Switch, like Doom or Doom Eternal, and you can play indie games on it, but Nintendo has exclusive titles like Kirby, Metroid, Zelda, and an array of Mario games. Of course, Mario makes Nintendo. The name Mario is synonymous with Nintendo. I mean, I don't see anytime soon Nintendo licensing its games for the PC. Nintendo's name is synonymous in the video game realm. So from my standpoint, the Steam Deck is not a Switch killer. Not at all. Despite what people may say. Nintendo will always have a large or huge fan base because of its video game stars, so it will not have competition from Steam. The deck is in direct competition with GPD, Aya, and One Netbook, especially with its very competitive price. And the one thing that the deck will have an advantage of over the Chinese handheld PC companies, customer support. Let me say that again. Customer support. I mean, seriously. Have you bought a GPD product or a Chinese handheld PC product and had issues with it? Try reaching out to the company or the reseller. It's darn near impossible to get support. Trust me, I know that firsthand. Try returning it. It's a huge headache, and you gotta pay for the shipping costs to ship it back to China. And if you know about shipping to China, shipping costs are pretty high. At least with the deck, you'll get most likely instant customer support for repairs, fixes, and such that makes the overall purchase worthwhile. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm still a fan of GPD and One Netbook, but it's time for them to set up shop in the US for true customer support. And I'm sure a lot of you will agree with me on that. However, an advantage that GPD and One Netbook has, as far as sales, no US tax. I bought my Win 4 right here. I bought this on, Geek Buying, and I was really happy to see that there was no US tax added to my total purchase price. So that right there is a huge advantage of buying overseas products. And some people may argue about shipping. I only had to wait 2.5 or 2.5 weeks pretty much for the shipment of my Mix 4, excuse me. Why did I say Win? I'm thinking GPD. But I just had to wait almost about 3 weeks for the shipment of this, or for this to be delivered to my door. So that wasn't too bad. They're getting a lot better with their shipping. The best advantage handheld PCs running Windows has over the Steam Deck: versatility. While the PC can run PC games, you can also run Windows apps such as Microsoft Office do work. You can even install emulators, which are programs, or you can say apps, that mimic older game systems to play a vast array of retro and arcade games. You can also screencast this to HD TVs so that you can play your games on a much bigger monitor and style. Now you might get some, lag. That's the word. You might get some lag because if you are casting wirelessly, it may lag a little bit by a couple of seconds. So that's not truly ideal. But if you connect it directly via HDMI cord, then you won't get any lag at all. Another advantage is the option for multiplayer on this one device with the addition of Bluetooth or USB controllers. There's probably more advantages, but these came off the top of my head. Now, at the end of the day, as always, it comes down to what you want, not what everyone else says is what you want and your knowledge about gaming and gaming devices. Do you want a Switch with exclusive games? Do you want a Steam Deck for a vast amount of PC games, or a handheld PC that can do it all, but will take time for you to get it set up? Which means that you got to put on some elbow grease and you got to do most of the work to get this to be as versatile as it is. So you got to put the apps on, you got to install the emulators, you got to get the games for the emulators, you got to do most of the piggyback work yourself. So as far as having the Steam Deck or the Nintendo Switch, well, Nintendo Switch is the easiest. So you just basically buy cartridges, you pop them in, you got games. You can download games from the Nintendo store, so it's ready to go. And most people will probably opt for the Nintendo Switch for its ease of use. The Steam Deck will probably take a little bit more knowledge to get it all working, especially those who want to install Windows on that device, but that could do a lot more than the Nintendo Switch. And in my particular opinion, a mini PC or a handheld PC is the way to go. However, you gotta have knowledge on installing stuff and getting it set up for the way that you want it to work. So that's just my personal opinion about the deck. I mean, I don't knock it in any way, especially for its price point. Don't get me wrong, the price point is awesome. I mean, $399 for the base model, and the price increases for the amount of storage that you want on a device. So for $249 more, which is kind of high, you get 512 gigabytes of NVMe SSD storage, and it's fast storage too. So I can't wait to see the videos of the Steam Deck in action. But in my personal opinion, I say a handheld PC or mini PC made by the Chinese companies, even though customer service is non-existent pretty much, this is still the best value for your money, even though they're slightly more expensive, but the price will be going down soon because of the competitiveness of the Steam Deck. This will give you more versatility because you got PC games like the Steam Deck will have. You got emulator games, so you can play your Sega, Nintendo, and other retro games and other game systems on this too. And you have the versatility to use it as a work PC. And like I said, depending on the size that you get, they're pretty handy and they're pretty portable. This weighs right here 1.7 pounds. So, and it has a full-size keyboard. So you can't go wrong with this. But like I said, whatever floats your boat, you get what you want for your money. For me, I'm gonna stick with my 1MX4, and I will be making videos of this, showing you gameplay, me using it at work, and the versatility that you can get out of a mini PC / handheld PC. So that's the end of my video. Just want to let you know that, like I said, I am alive and well. Very happy on my summer break, but just wanted to give you my sense of the Steam Deck, Nintendo Switch, and how they're not in competition with each other. So if you like my video and you like the content, definitely leave that thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Tell your friends about my channel, and I hope to see you in my next video.